All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spurs Live. And as you can tell, the mood here is really not happy at all. Very disappointed all round. I think you can tell by our faces. Josh, we've just lost 2-1 to Aston Villa. By the way, guys, we have not spoken about this yet. We literally jumped on, so this is first thoughts coming out Josh's mind. What are your thoughts?
Like, I'm not surprised at the result. Like, I think if you watched the match preview, for those that did, I did predict Villa to narrowly beat us, but I didn't expect the performance that we got. I'm happy with the performance we got, but that's why I'm so gutted
Yeah.
because I thought we were definitely the better team. A lot of times you can say we were robbed or whatever like that. We weren't robbed by decisions, but we sort of robbed ourselves of a win today because our finishing just was lacking. I thought we were
hmm
dominant in the first half. The Bentancur injury made a change. Um,
Yeah.
Bit massive change in the game, but I'm sure we'll talk about that later because I think that completely changed the game. Um, we shouldn't be upset with a loss today. We should be celebrating a win if we could finish our chances. We should have been out of sight by the end of the first half when they equalised, well out of sight as well.
Yeah.
But I'm very surprised and but happily surprised with some of the performances that I saw today. But we'll get to that when the player ratings, I suppose. But yeah, disappointed,
Yeah.
but quite happy with the performance, bar the finishing.
I think I agree with you here. I think overall there's positives, but the main objective of Ange Ball is to finish your chances. That's the main objective, and yet we've failed to achieve the main objective to finish with the chances. Um, First of all, Carl Fisher, thanks for joining. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Now, Josh, I mean, going into the game, we had a midfield. I want to talk about that midfield because I think that was
Mm.
a really interesting element to the game. We had Lo Celso, we had Bentancur, and we had Kulusevski in there. Um, what were your thoughts with that with those midfielders?
Well, I mean, the fan base. There's parts of the fan base have been crying for Kulu to play in sort of the middle of the park for months now.
Yeah,
Because he's been pretty not poor out wide. Like I think Kulusevski is one of those players. He's really underrated if you don't watch him every week and see what he brings to the team outside of goals and assists. Um, but he was excellent through the middle. I thought he felt like he had a free role. His flicks were brilliant. He seemed to be getting in the right positions. He was trying in behind as well. His runs off the ball and on the ball were fantastic. Just lacked that again, that finishing. And oh god, every single week with Kulusevski, it just kills me because there is an unbelievable ceiling for Kulusevski. But if he could just take his chances or just pull the trigger that second earlier, sometimes it's
yep,
like it's his Achilles heel that he just doesn't pull the trigger quick enough sometimes, or he's just not clinical enough at times. But I was really happy with his performance in that sort of that a high eight role. Really enjoyed it. Lo Celso, I thought he was good. I thought he was good today. I criticised him a lot after the
hmm
Wolves game. I said that he looked tactically a bit lost, and that he didn't really look like he belonged in the team. Completely different today. Um, he was on the ball frequently. He dropped deep a lot of the time to progress the ball up the pitch when we were struggling because obviously we don't have our defence and mainly Romero and Van der Ven to progress the ball like they usually do.
yeah,
So I thought Lo Celso took that burden on. It was good today. He was good in tight spaces. He put the ball out wide very well. Again, the big differentiator, Bentancur, excellent when he was on the pitch. And that tackle from Cash is grim, by the way. That is a disgusting tackle. He's so late. Not even late. The ball's gone. The ball is miles gone by the time he even lunges to make that challenge. He's a lucky boy, Matty Cash, because that was a
yeah.
horrific challenge. And I think it'd be, I've seen Romero do many of those many a time, and he's got in his walking orders for that. So I think Cash is a lucky boy, but completely needless. And I hope that for Lolo's sake, he's back sooner rather than later. Because I thought when Bentancur was on the pitch, we were in complete control. And people criticise Bentancur for his lack of creativity sometimes on the ball because he's not a Madison archetype with his passing. But I thought he was excellent on the ball today in terms of some of the balls in behind, some of the balls out wide that he was playing so intricate. caused Villa problems all over the pitch with their high line. So that was the big changing point of the game. It wasn't their equaliser. It wasn't anything like that. It was Bentancur going off the pitch, completely changed the game for me.
Very much so, very much so. I agree with you a lot. Before we continue, let's just quickly say hello to everyone on Instagram. We have close to 100 viewers there, so big up to yourselves and big up to the viewers on YouTube. Josh, you touched down on a really, really, really great point of the game, and that is the Kulusevski point where he just doesn't take his chances. He just doesn't take his chances.
Well, early
I
on,
think,
he spun that. He
yeah,
spun the who was it, Conser or Torres that he spun and hits the post. He's got to score that. He's got to score that.
there are chances, I think, that aren't just on Kulusevski, who didn't take his chances. You look at Brennan Johnson; he
No.
should have converted. And I'm sorry, this could be controversial, but Udogie there, where he blazes it, I
Yeah.
think a professional footballer needs to be able to convert those chances. Now we got a comment from Tejas. Be up to yourself. The moment Højbjerg came on, our pace changed completely. Yes, we did well, but the moment Dyer or Højbjerg play, you notice the ball is in our half more than it should be. Now you touched on that before, and that when Bentancur came off, you can tell that there was a massive drop off. Now, who would you replace Bentancur with then? Like, it's that situation
This
where
is
we
the
don't have enough
thing.
squad depth.
This whole game, it's almost pointless to criticise a lot of the aspects of the game. It's pointless because Villa played most of our B team and probably
Yeah.
some part of our C team. We didn't even name enough players on the bench today. We've been not just riddled with injuries. We've been absolutely destroyed by our injuries. Our entire spine is gone. It looked like Porro was going to go off at one point, which nearly sent me into
Yep.
tears because honestly, I thought Porro again was excellent for most of the game today. His passing range is what's been saving us a lot of the time with regards to when the pressures come against us in the press. His long passing has been excellent. It's so underrated.
Hmm.
But injuries have destroyed us, man. No Madison, but we managed, so we fill that in with Lo Celso and moving Kulu to the centre. That's that problem. Then Sar's injured all of a sudden in the midweek game when he played for Senegal. All of a sudden, Lo Celso's not playing cam anymore. He's moving back into box to box, which he can do, but it's not the role that we brought him in to do. And then
Yeah.
Basuma suspended, so we got to play Bentancur deeper rather than higher up the pitch, which I know you advocated for as well. And then Højbjerg has to come on because Bentancur goes off again because of a terrible tackle from Cash. So that's three problems that we've had to solve, two of them in the game before we've even started. Three problems just in midfield alone. And then you look at the defence again. Both our centre-backs gone. Two of probably our three most important players, maybe four if you count Son in that. But it's Madison, Van de Ven and Romero, easily the two most important players in our defence, and they're both gone. And you can tell, it's like people could wonder why we can see that header at half time. And yeah, the lack of awareness, defensive awareness, is awful from some of our defenders. But they're all fullbacks, playing four fullbacks in a back line. Of course, they're going to get out
Yep.
jumped by Pau Torres. Look at the size of him compared to Davies and Royale. What do you think's going to
Um,
happen? Again,
I mean
Watkins
that
bullied him
moment
again.
that Davis had, sorry, that moment that Davis and Watkin had, in the last minute when it was supposed to be a corner,
Just
that
out
that,
jumps
that,
him.
that
There's
just
nothing he can
shows it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing what Davies can do. You can't even criticise him for that. He's little. He's a fullback. What's he
Yeah.
going to do? He's going to get dominated by those bigger players, and that's just the problem that we just got to shut up and get on with it until Christmas. Like we knew this would probably happen to us, and that's why I'm not like necessarily angry, because I'm not angry at all. I'm just like, well, it is what it is. We've been destroyed by injuries. What are we supposed to do? You know.
I think the majority of the game pissed me off so much was the fact that we didn't convert our chances.
Yeah.
Now, I know we spoke a lot about not converting chances. I know we spoke about, some injuries, but can we for a second just talk about that front line? Because for me, I found that interesting. Very interesting, that front line. Sonny, I'm sorry to say, he's a professional footballer. He needs to get his awareness much. He needs to be aware that he's offside. It's impossible that he scored 3 goals offside. Now, Kulusevski, I enjoyed seeing him play that cam role. And Brennan Johnson on that right hand side didn't get the ball enough. If he would have gotten the ball more times,
Thought
I
he was
think
good on the ball today when he did have it.
when he did have it, he was good. Brian Gill, for me, in my opinion, absolutely crap. I think he was so poor. I think number one, he needs to get a haircut. Let's just get that straight. He needs to get a haircut. Tell the man to get a haircut. I don't know who's convincing him to keep that haircut, but he did not play well. He got his chance. So yeah, I mean,
I just feel
anything
for
else?
Hill though, because
Yeah,
it's so obvious that he's just not physical enough for this league. He's just not. Like Hill can take it past one, take it past two, and then all a centre back has to do is just go, and he's done. He can't get near him. He tries his hard. You can tell with Brian Hill, he wants it so bad, and he tries so hard, and he's trying to bob and
yep.
weave, and he's trying to be tenacious with the ball, but he just can't deal with the physicality of the league. He just gets so easily brushed aside, and when he tries to make space for himself, he's just too small. And you can say that about he hasn't got that electrifying pace either, which can be a differentiator when you are small. If you're not going to be big and physical, you've got to be quick in this league, and he's not either. And I feel for it because he's a good dribbler. He's evidently a very good dribbler. But his final ball, he put in one good cross for Sonny, which again I just thought Sonny. I don't know if he jumps too early or the ball is just slightly too high, maybe. But I thought that was the one good cross that he did put in. But the rest of the game, you could see he was trying, but he just can't deal with the physicality of this league, and I feel for him because he wants it so badly, but I just don't think it's going to work for him in a Spurs shirt, sadly.
Fair enough, fair enough. But now, before we get on to the main focus of this, or a majority of the focus of this live stream, I want to quickly touch about a point where I was correct. I was correct, and I'm going to take the full what's it called, credit on this. I'm going to take the credit on Lo Celso being played as a centre midfielder. Now, a lot of people said he should be played as a cam. Now, as a cam, I don't know if you saw when Kulusevski got the ball, he barely had time on the ball. He had to get the ball out his feet, bent ankle. Whenever he got the ball, he had to play it quick. Lo Celso in that centre midfield role has the time and day to make passes. I'm not saying he made the correct passes today, but I think he looked much more lively today. And although the physicality is still something for me that I'm very much I'm not keen on him, but overall I think he had a good game. Want to see more from him now. Josh, let's talk about one player in particular. One player. I think you know who I'm going to talk about. How the hell did Matty Cash not receive a red card? Can you please explain to me? I don't know if you. I don't know. I don't know. Like not. I don't want you to be biased towards Tottenham, but whose side are you on? Because I think it's a clear red card, and 100% that's a season-ending tackle. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's lucky that he didn't. If he connects with any part of the player, like he didn't.
Yeah.
Luckily, with the leading foot, he doesn't connect. If he connects with any part, he's off. And
Hmm.
that is what bothers me with that rule, because we've had it with Edin Nketiah and Vicario in the North London derby. It shouldn't have to be a broken leg to be a red.
Yeah.
That's what I don't. That's what bothers me. It shouldn't have to have someone break their leg for that to happen. And I think he's so lucky. And then he fouls a Dogi straight after as well. And there was a couple more that Matty Cash committed. I don't know how he hasn't been sent off at least for 2 yellows, because I thought he was abysmal. And he's rash, and I really hope that Bentancur isn't out for long, because he's easily, with Maddison out, our best midfielder. That's so evident
Yeah.
today. He got up to speed so quickly after his ACL, and he looked the player that he left off at, which is rare for someone that goes through an ACL injury. But Matty Cash was a lucky boy to stay on the pitch today, I thought. And even if he wasn't, and I can understand why people don't think it's a red, because the rule dictates that it isn't, if you get what I mean, because there's no contact. But it's a
Yeah.
stupid rule. There shouldn't have to be contact when it's a challenge like that, where the ball's not even in the frame. The ball's not even in the frame when he makes the challenge. That's how late he was. So you can, Matty Cash was apologising. You can apologise as much as you want, mate. You've gotten a player injured that's just come back from an ACL injury, and he's in a vulnerable position. And it's not the first time that Matty Cash has done something like that either. So
Sorry, I'm just trying to get that some footage up, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Let's talk about the what I'm trying to bring up, but I clearly can't bring it up. Number one, thanks everyone for appreciate all the comments you guys are bringing in. I'm not seeing this, but was it like Rashford's in Europe?
not necessarily.
Josh,
So have you
yeah,
seen the Rashford one?
yeah,
So yeah, like the Rashford one, he just sort of stands in by accident. He's not even meaning to. The cash one's completely different. He completely intentionally wipes out Bentancur when the ball is completely gone. So
And
and it's
yeah,
high, but he misses. It's high, but he misses the player just about. But it's
exactly.
dangerous, and he's completely out of control. He's completely out of control, which people would say is a red, but it didn't really get spoken about that much after it happened, I suppose. But that would again change the game completely. But yeah, we can moan about it all we like, but it didn't happen, and we did lose Bentancur. And to be honest, I think that was what won them the game. No, I'm not going to get into whether Rashford's a red or not. That's a completely different game.
Yeah.
Um, by the laws of football, it's a red. But is it a red? Not really. But
So if we're going to talk about red cards here, let's talk about the one that just pissed me off the most. The most. How was Brian Gill not awarded a penalty? Now, first of all, there was a handball in that play.
yeah.
Controversial. I'm just gonna say controversial. It's up to you guys to decide. I want to know your comments down below. David, good to see you. All right, well done. Yeah, sure. Hope you lose.
He's watching
Brian
United.
Gill.
They probably will lose. So
Yeah, they probably are gonna lose. Brian Gill, that elbow. You know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that
yeah,
was a red.
the
That
one where
that was a
VAR
penalty.
wasn't even working. How ridiculous is that? Again, I'm so sick and tired of talking about fucking
The
VAR.
VAR wasn't
I
working.
hate it.
What's wrong
How
with
can we
them?
not have VAR working? It's ridiculous.
Now,
Like,
we
what is
we
it
know
about
your
our
thoughts on the.
stadium and VAR? What is it? Seriously.
It's the fact that I feel like referees are just so either they just can't be asked to look at the VAR, or they look at little bits. Now, I don't know about you, but that goal for Watkins, I didn't think it was offside. Honestly, I didn't think that was offside. But
No, that's
stuff like.
offside. I thought that was
Yeah, no, no.
offside.
I know. Originally, I didn't think it was offside, so I was like, play on, play on, play on. Sometimes, they get the decision correct. Most of the time, they do. But it's on basis that they're gonna have to take 5 minutes out of the game. Um. So what are your thoughts on VAR in today's game? Go on, a little something.
Uh, I'm so bored of talking about it. I thought the whole point of VAR was to eradicate these sorts of decisions, and it's like, I shouldn't have to trade off the correct decision for 5 minutes of waiting time. That's too long. It killed them. It killed the pace of the game completely. That VAR decision ruined the pace of the game. It was a brilliant back and forth sort of end to end watch with high
Yeah,
intensity, and as soon as that happened, dead. Game died completely in terms of pace. It became a slow, boring, tedious affair straight after that. And it's like with that offside decision, with the lines, why are we not using semi-automated offsides? Why that should be a standard procedure. Why are we not using that? It's technology we have available to us, and the whole of Europe are using it, and it's brilliant, and it works, and it gives you the right decision quickly. There's no waiting. There's no 3 to 5 minutes of waiting time to make sure we've got the right decision. And even then, we don't necessarily always get the right decision. Why are we not using semi-automated offsides?
yeah,
But with VAR, I'm just done in general now. I'm so bored of it. I'm so bored of it. But I'd rather go back to the way things were before, because at least before, if the decision was wrong, I can at least put it down to human error and know they just missed it. You get some, you don't get some. That's how football works. But now I'm waiting 5 minutes for every decision because they're checking every possible way they can rule out a goal. And if they don't manage to rule out the goal, it's killed whatever was going on in the game before. And then half the time, we're waiting all that time and we still don't get the right decision. So what's the point? How can we tell me that VAR is for the integrity of the game? But there was a massive decision that you didn't even have VAR active for because you messed up the technology. So it wasn't even working. So you couldn't check it. How ridiculous is that? Where's the integrity in that? It makes no sense. I'm bored of speaking about VAR, but it's just
you
either
you you
use
you, you,
automated
you can tell
offsides
that
and
you're
make it a
pissed off though.
guarantee or get rid of it.
Yeah. Exactly. I feel like it's making fans not enjoy the game anymore. I mean, I remember the times where before VAR, you'd come off the game, you'd be upset if a decision didn't go your way, but you'd accept it. Like at the end of the day, it's a human error. It's acceptable. This is not a human error anymore. It's literally based on technology. Now, um, I think overall the game though, we can't blame it on referees, we can't blame it on VAR, we can't blame it on anything else
No,
but
we've only got ourselves to blame for
our
this one.
performance. Exactly. Now the way I'm saying everything, and I know it sounds a bit obvious, but we're sitting now. Where are we sitting? We're sitting outside the top four. We're fifth. We continue the season
Oh
like
my
this.
God, United have just scored a wonder goal.
Are you serious?
Garnacho's just scored an overhead kick from the edge of the box.
Are you serious?
David Shaw's buzzing right now. Yeah, he's just scored that's the last goal of the season. He's just scored an overhead kick from the edge of the box.
Oh my days! Hopefully Twitter's already got that out.
Sorry
That
to
is mad.
interrupt, but oh my.
Nah. Well. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that.
That is outrageous from him. That is absolutely outrageous from Garnacho.
That's disgusting.
He's just in it.
That's mad. That's mad. Just literally. Oh my days. To make our day even worse. Look at that. But look, guys. I want to get into this match rating because I'll be honest. I'm just a bit,
Yeah,
bit
it's no play
annoyed.
for
Yeah.
player.
Let's go straight to match ratings. We haven't actually done this on the show yet, but let's go for it. Josh, keeper, Vicario, conceded 2 goals. Sweeper keeper. What are you giving him?
Don't think he could have done much with either of the goals, to be fair. Just a bullet header from Torres. And then what was the second one? Watkins, just good finish. We've seen a couple of those this weekend from Trent and Haaland. Like, not a lot he could do again. Thought he did well sweeping out from the back today. Good on the ball. I'd still go like 6-7, maybe 6-7. But I thought he was
Yeah,
good today still.
I'd go 7. I think you can't really fault him for the goals. I think
Didn't
we're
have a lot
going to
to
get
do.
this into next.
He actually didn't have a lot to do.
In the next video, we're going to get onto this because I'm just not in the mood to talk about this right now. But I want to bring up the second goal because that's a little bit. I'm not too happy with that. But we'll get onto that in a different video. So 7 all round. Pedro Porro. What are you saying for Pedro Porro? I think he had a good game. I think he had a good
He's
game.
good today. He made that one mistake which nearly
Yeah,
let them in, which he's done a few times, but I think that's almost a symptom of the system, if you get what I mean. That
yeah,
he's always gets put in that position. Sometimes he pulls it off, sometimes he doesn't. Thought it was fine today. I could go stuck between probably a 6 or a 7. I thought his passing was good.
yeah.
Defensively, again, his awareness a bit off. Like he gets beaten a little bit too easily sometimes, and that's why we get a lot of crosses into us. So I'll go 6 today. I thought he was
I
fine.
agree. I agree. I was going to say maybe not a 7. I think a 6 because the one thing that also annoyed me as well was those was those free kicks. I mean, we had several times where he
Yeah,
could have put in a good cross. I mean, maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, third, fourth, a corner. It wasn't good, but. So that's 6 all round. Let's go to the left back. Destiny Udogie obviously came back from injury. I'm gonna start this off. I think
yeah,
he was our best defender. Uh,
yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 7.5. At the end of the day, conceded 2 goals. It's gonna have to take the rating down, but 7.5, I think that's fair. What do you think of Udogie? What's
Agree.
your rating?
I go 7. I thought he was excellent. I thought he was our most prominent player for most of the first half, other than Bentancur. Thought he was excellent going forwards, and he did well against the RB all game. Fell off a little bit in the second half, but I think the whole team did. His performance went flat with the rest of the team's performance at times. Not awful, but do you know what I mean? I just thought he was a little bit flat compared, and he looked a bit tired. But that's going
Yeah,
to happen again. He's a kid. He's playing way too much football, and he's just come back from injury. So I'll let him off for looking a bit tired towards the end of a fixture like that.
that's really good because I was going to mention something. Big up to Elliot Cohen, by the way. We were watching the game together, a couple of mates, and he actually pointed this out. I was going to say this, I forgot. Tottenham Hotspur, they play like crazy intensity in the first 15-20
Mm,
minutes. So that is golden time for us. We need to
yeah.
convert our chances. No, I mean, because afterwards, after the first 15-20 minutes, you can tell that our intensity goes a little bit down. We
Mm.
have to, catch our breath. You
Which is
think
only natural,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's only natural, but those are the chances we have to convert. But so I thought I'd slip that in because that was
No,
actually a
I
good.
agree. Every game. It seems to be we rue the chances that we miss, and it's like it happened against Luton, and we got away with it. But we should have put them to the sword in the first 20 minutes, and we should have been
Yeah,
3 up today, probably. Really, in the first 20, it's the
yeah,
same story. And that's why. Do you know what? That's why it makes me laugh when people say we're a better team without Kane. Because I'm telling you now, if we had Harry Kane, we would be putting teams to the sword. Games would be over after 15 minutes, most
literally.
frequently as well.
Oh, okay. I finally found the picture of the Gil. But let's move on to the two centre backs now. Let's start off with Emerson. In my opinion, I think he's getting a 5. Um, I think he was extremely poor today. The defending from him, it's not his fault. It's really not his fault. But if we're
No, he's
classing,
not used to being there.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
not used to being there. But you have to rate him based on the fact that he's a
Yeah, no,
centre
no,
back
I
today.
agree. I agree. I was going to say 4, even to be honest, because I just thought his
Yeah,
awareness was abysmal. He had no clue where Ollie
terrible.
Watkins was at any point today. If you were watching the game, you were watching Ollie Watkins, which I was doing every now and again, just because he was so prominent. You could just see Emerson and Davies just could not figure out between the two of them who was taking him, where he was going. Like it was a nightmare for them. It was an
Literally.
absolute nightmare.
So what are you saying? You saying 4?
I'm saying 4. I don't think it was his best game on the ball
Okay.
either today. I thought he was dawdling on the ball way too much.
So I'm saying 5, so that's 4.5 right there. Second centre back is who was second? Davis.
Davies.
I'm gonna go with a 6 for him. I think he did okay. Again, a little bit awareness let him down, but 2 goals got conceded because of his fault. So 6 for me. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm going 5. I was really annoyed. I thought he was really wasteful from that corner. Really
Yeah,
wasteful. I was really a yard out. You've got to head down. I don't know why you're trying to head just sideways. You've got to head down on it every single time if you can.
100%.
I thought he was a bit average, but then I can't keep saying that. Oh, they were good except for the goals. I can't keep saying that,
Yeah.
and I feel for him because he shouldn't be playing there, and he shouldn't really be playing at all in this team at the minute. But I can only rate what I see, and for me, I can't give him any more than a 5.
So that's a 5.5. Now let's go to the midfielders. Now let's start off with who's our CDM? We didn't have a. Did we play CDM?
Bentancur.
No. Bentancur. Yeah, let's start off with Bentancur. Um, what are you going? What are you going with?
Between an 8 or an, I'd probably go for an 8 today
Yeah,
from before he went off.
first
But
30
he's our
minutes.
best player.
Agree. Yeah, agree. I don't think there's much needs to be said about that. I think it's a shame he got off injured and Matty Cash, you know, whatever. We spoke enough about him.
Yeah.
Bentancur 8 overall. Lo Celso, I'm gonna start off with a 8.5. I think overall he had a really good game, but he did let us down a lot with the awareness of the runs that I think he could have put in a couple more balls. But I think he played better than Bentancur, simply because he played longer and he was able to keep us in the game. He was literally the only one who's keeping us in the game. So 8.5 for me. What are you saying?
I'll probably go 7.5 for me. I didn't think he was as good
Okay.
as Bentancur when he was on the pitch, but he took his goal well. Really good strike
Yeah.
from him. I think it was great response, a great responsive performance from his last outing against Wolves. I was really
Yeah.
a lot happy with him today on the ball, positionally, tactically. I thought he was way more on it than he was before. So I was happy with him today, and again, he's probably kept his place for the next week now.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, enough said about Lo Celso. I think overall, in my opinion, very quickly, Lo Celso, Lo Celso skip. No, Lo Celso, Højbjerg, and Kulu for the next match, I guess, versus City. No,
It's going to have to be. We don't have any
literally,
players.
our squad depth is terrible now. Let's go for Kulu. I'm gonna go with a 7. He held the ball up very nicely, integrating that 10 role really nicely, but didn't take his shots. Could have scored a lot of times. I'm going to say 6.57. What are you saying?
I thought he was excellent. I really do. I do you know what? I'd probably give him a 7.5. It would have been
Oh,
higher if he'd have taken that goal. But I thought he was excellent on the ball today. He was easily our most creative player. He caused Villa problems from start to finish. Again, probably the hardest working player on the pitch again. I thought he was excellent. I'm really happy for him that it worked out in his new position that he's been
yeah,
asking to play for ages.
very much so. So I think now we're going to go to the attackers, and this is going to be not going to be great. Let's start with Brian Gill. What are you saying for Brian Gill?
I'd probably go either a 4 or 5 for him today. Not for it necessarily. I just don't think he's able to play in this league. I
Yeah,
feel for him. I'm not even going to bother criticising because he just doesn't have the physicality. He doesn't have the attributes to be a Premier League winger,
yeah,
unfortunately for him. As talented as I think he can be on the ball, he doesn't have the attributes to be a Premier League winger. Doesn't suit him.
yeah. Agree. I think I was going to go a bit higher, 5.5. I just think he was terrible, but I think there was a couple players worse than him. Um, Let's go for that right winger, Brennan Johnson. Now, in my opinion, there were like two halves for him because the second half he came out quite lively. I'm
Mm,
gonna go for a 6. He took on his man a couple of times. He got in front of goal. He should have kept the. He had two chances to score, missed both.
yeah.
So 6 for me. What are you saying?
I'd probably go 6 as well. Again, he probably should have taken a chance a bit better. And he's been a bit of a symptom. It's definitely Ange telling him to do this cutting back thing. I want to address it now because I'm sure we
Yeah,
cut back everything every
yeah,
single time when we could pull the trigger. We just seem to want to pass, 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 pass. Like honestly, the amount of passes we must accumulate in the box is a joke. No one wants to shoot. Everyone wants to cut it back and tap into an open goal. You don't need to every time. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it is better to pass. Sometimes it's not. And in that Brennan Johnson, in the first half, I'm sure you know what I'm on about. When we got in behind, Brennan Johnson tried to square it to Sonny, but I think it
yes,
was either
yes,
Konsa or Torres just blocks it easily. It's just whack it, just hit it. You don't need to pass
exactly.
across in that situation. Just hit it. It's more difficult to pass than it is to slide it into the bottom corner. So I think
Very much.
there is a time. I'm sure they'll pick it up over time as well. Once that it's a pretty new. I think we forget sometimes it's a pretty new team. Like the whole team, Brendan Johnson, Hill, Son have never played together as a front three ever. I don't think, like to
Yeah.
my knowledge, like it's a completely new front three that they don't necessarily know each other the best at times, and I think that shows that they're all some of them are pretty new to the club. But I'm happy with Brendan
Yeah.
Johnson's overall
It, it,
start.
it, it doesn't help though. It doesn't help the fact that he doesn't know. Well, the manager doesn't know his preferred position because he plays on the left, he plays on the right, he can
Well,
play a
I
striker.
think he wants him to play left when everyone's fit.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty apparent to me that he wants him to play
yeah,
left, but he's being forced out of it with him, which is why I'm not being too harsh on him because there's not
yeah.
really a lot that Brennan can do about that. But I think a lot of people are very skeptical when we signed him, and I think he's made a good positive start. And I can see the signs of a top winger that we've got that he can grow into. You know,
I agree, but it's 50 mil again. But we'll leave it at that. It's 50 mil. Brendan Johnson, you guys make your own decision if that was worth it or if that is worth it. Still to come. Human Son. Now I'm gonna go straight in with it. You guys can have all the negative comments. I don't care. 4 for me. A poor a 4, even a 3.5 for me. Did not get involved with the game at all. Every time he had a shot, it was it was either saved so easily by Martinez or it was an offside. He scored a hat trick of offside. So for me, a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. What are you saying?
yeah, I was disappointed with Sonny today. I think, but this is the story. This is just who Human Son is now in terms of when he's a striker. He doesn't get involved that much with overall passages of play and link up play. He'll come in and get a couple touches every now and again, almost to just like keep his feet warm.
Yeah,
But he's not going to turn and play someone in really, not that much. Sometimes he can. He's not like inept at it. He can do it. He just doesn't do it that often. But he's not going to
mhm,
drop deep like Kane used to. Yeah, again, the offsides were starting to wind me up a little bit because this is happening a lot, and it's narrow offsides that he's so keen to go at times. Some of them weren't necessarily like the rebound that he tapped in that after we hit the post, not
yeah,
necessarily. It was
exactly.
quite tight, but there are a couple of them when he runs in behind. I don't know if it's his fault that he's not holding the run, or when we a player that we don't when it because when it's Madison it works. So I'm almost thinking that the players that we do have in midfield just aren't pulling that trigger of the pass quick enough to him at times. But that's something that I'd
Yeah.
obviously have to look into more, to be honest. But it's clear that when Madison plays, Son is a level higher for
Well,
it.
you can tell as well. Simply, also it depends on the players who, like you said, who are providing him with the goals. Look at Brendan Johnson earlier. I think it was the first half where he passed that ball, and it was offside, but it was just
Just
so
so
so slow, and it was just too behind. But look, let's go over to the manager now. I have an interesting take about this. I want to hear your score. Let me know your score. What do you think?
I'm gonna go like sure I'm gonna go 7.
Okay, I'm gonna
7
go
maybe 8.
8.5. I'm going.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
going to go 7, maybe 8, because I think the amount of
he's done it.
problems
Yeah,
that man has had to face, it just without before kicking a ball, the amount of problems that he has to solve, and I thought he came up with solutions today for all of those problems brilliantly, and I
yeah,
think he set
agree.
out a team to win again and coached to win, but the players let him down. in front of goal.
Exactly. And now, can you imagine if we go into January, or we end the season, whatever place we end the season, come the summer, we get the players we want, we get January players we want. We could be in some good positions. I mean, you look at the signings he signed this season. Van de Ven, brilliant signing. He's been able to implement Basuma into the team fantastically. You look at the front three, when Manon Solomon plays, that's some good squad depth. You got Brendan Johnson, good squad depth. He's able to get some of the best out of the players. Now, overall, Rodrigo Bentancur was seen limping through the mixed zone after the match. So that is from Tom Barclay. So um, that's not great news. But look, overall, Josh, any last words to end the show? And before we do, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Instagram people, you guys have been absolutely killing it. Big up to you a lot, and make sure to drop us a follow on Instagram. Smash a like on the YouTube video. Josh, any closing words?
Listen, it's the same story that we've had for the past couple of weeks. I and the whole fan base shouldn't be too harsh on the lads throughout this period. We've been crippled worse than anybody else with injuries this last month or so. Villa played our B team and still nearly got battered. Probably should have been battered in that first half. So it is what it is. But we will keep going. We've just got to get through to January.
Exactly. So big up to everyone, and hopefully have a great day. Bye bye. Or as good as you can possibly have.